right, we're live, guys. Welcome. No Huffy this week. He had surprise physical therapy. So, welcome to the 55th episode. We have a lot to get into this week. Some about Bungie, some about Destiny, but a lot about other games too.
About Borderlands?
Dude, yeah, there was
Borderlands. Let's go.
There was some crazy news this week, just in general, I'd say.
Okay, all right. What do you want to get to first?
Well, first, tell me what you guys have been playing. Have you guys been playing anything like
Destiny
this week?
and Division.
Okay, so you're still playing Destiny. Got it.
I played I think I did a PvP match in Destiny, and then I played a couple rounds of Apex. That was pretty much it.
All right. Yeah. I haven't been playing too much. Like I played a little bit of Destiny towards the end of last week, and then I just been spending the past couple. Well, I spent yesterday putting my new 2080 Ti in, but
looks like you're finishing up your wall treatment.
Yep. So I have this wall covered behind the computers, but I still have about 10 pieces over there. I'm going to put them up after the podcast today. So you might hear still a bit of an echo, but it should be better than last week right now.
Oh, it's definitely better than last week. I can hear the difference.
Yeah.
Just imagine what this room will sound like without any echo, because right now, according to the room size, you guys are getting pretty bad echo.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with this is like it's a big room, and then also since it's a basement, like behind the walls are cinder blocks, so that makes a difference too.
Yeah.
All right, so number one, we got a Borderlands 3 reveal / trailer / announcement that the original 2 Borderlands games are getting remastered.
Guns with legs.
Guns with legs.
Yeah, the 4K patch isn't out yet for the Borderlands 1, but they're working on it.
It's not out yet for 2 yet either, is it?
I think it is for 2.
Oh.
Because it was already available for 2, but I think the remastered is going to be a separate product, isn't it?
I thought both of them were getting a Game of the Year edition, and they were gonna.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Borderlands.
So I know for sure edition. Borderlands 1 remaster is coming in April. I don't know about Borderlands 2, but
Borderlands 2 has a Game of the Year edition already out on Steam.
Okay. Well, then maybe it's already there. I don't know.
Nah.
But what'd you guys think of the trailer?
I saw it on my phone after, because I was actually planning on watching it live, but I had to. I was out shopping at the time, and then when I actually got a chance to, I completely forgot about it. And someone reminded me that I should watch it, and I watched it, and it was like I only could watch it on my phone, so I haven't actually watched it like full screen, but it was pretty good. I liked it. Yeah, the guns with legs. We got you, bro.
1 billion guns.
Dude, 1
yeah,
billion.
well, I think they had 1 billion guns in the last one, right?
I had a fuck ton. About 1 billion.
1 billion.
How many guns were in Borderlands 2?
I have no idea. But 1 billion.
The measurement was a fuck ton, actually. Yeah.
Dude, Destiny has like 5 guns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. How many weapons are in Borderlands 2? 17.75 million.
So that's a lot more.
So it's a magnitude of
that's over 100 times as many guns. It's almost 1,000 times as many guns.
That's insane. How the okay? I'm not gonna go into the how the hell do they do that shit, but goddamn, that's insane.
No, it's almost 100 times as many guns. Yeah. Because if they had 100 million guns, then it would be 10 times. So 10 million guns would be 100 times, which means.
Well, if it's 1 billion,
that's what I'm saying.
They had I think they had 1 million guns in Borderlands 1.
Welcome to Mental Math Cast, friends.
Borderlands holds a Guinness World Record for most procedurally generated loot.
Yeah.
In a video game. And that's what the Borderlands 2 holds that record.
So, and then they've like tenfolded that. So that's interesting.
Like a lot of guns, we got a lot more.
Yeah. I'm sure there's similar gamer talk. But all I know is we don't have that kind of variation anywhere close to that in Destiny. Oh, God. Not even a little bit.
Well, I'm curious because I know how it works in Borderlands, and I didn't really get a chance to. I mean, Borderlands 3 is going to be my first actual time with a real Borderlands game. That wasn't somebody was just trying to run me through it and like pass me weapons and glitch and stuff. So I, from my knowledge and how it works is there is certain manufacturers and they run guns in a different way. Like they have certain things about the gun. Like there's going to be certain things that we know to expect from a certain manufacturer, right?
Mm-hmm. Are you?
Well, I'm just saying that like they won't be completely unique, but there's certain things that we'll be expecting from.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there are going to be like some guns that are, you know, the same gun but slightly different and stuff like that. You know, I would
That's what I'm
imagine it's
saying.
not
I'm
a
saying that,
billion
like-
unique guns. Like, there's no human development team on time or like in the world that would have
No,
time for
yeah.
that. But
Yeah, what I meant was
even if
what we have
there's
with Destiny 2 is we really don't even have really unique guns.
Right.
We have unique archetypes.
But like
And we
if
have
there's a
exotics in each
billion
archetype.
if there's a billion guns, even if there's like somewhere in the 1,000 to 10,000 unique guns, you know, it's
Yeah.
got to be somewhere around there. That's still crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, in
I
Destiny,
don't think you'll pick up a gun and you'll be like, I don't like this gun. Oh, don't worry, I can pick up a gun like right around the corner.
in Destiny, even if you include like the blues and greens and stuff like that, I'd be surprised if we're talking about over 1,000 guns. I really don't think we are.
Their loot system I like a lot better than Destiny's as well.
Yeah.
Because of how that loot system works in Borderlands is you level up,
Mm-hmm.
you get the loot, and then you have like max level loot.
Wow. Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's-
I remember that. I do have one thing that's a little bit controversial to say about this. So I am excited for the game. I think the gameplay is going to be great. I think that there's probably going to be some improvements, but I didn't really notice much of a visual improvement from Borderlands 2. It looks very close to the same to me. I mean, I know the art style has a lot to do with it, but it makes me wonder, what the heck are these remasters going to look like? It's going to look the same, you
Right.
know? Like, what does that even mean?
It's just not gonna be cell shaded. It's gonna be like all realistic graphics.
Yeah.
What did you think of it, Eddie?
What?
The reveal. What did you think of it?
I mean, it seemed cool. Like I'll probably play it. Honestly, it didn't seem different enough from any other Borderlands game to be like, hey, I really want to play this. It's like, I mean, I could play Borderlands 2 and probably be just as satisfied.
Do you think that it's gonna draw people who have never played a Borderlands
Oh,
before?
for sure. No, I mean, any sort of hype like this, like it's gonna draw people who haven't tried the franchise before. Then the difference is Destiny's not like that. Destiny pulls in Destiny players. It doesn't pull in anyone from any other genre or anything like that. Like Borderlands will. Like I know people who are primarily Pokemon streamers who went out and bought Borderlands 2 because of the hype. Like this is it's gonna be a big thing, and it's gonna be a big
I
thing for a
think-
while.
When Destiny was a new title, like when Destiny 1 initially released and when Destiny 2 initially released, that it probably brought new people in, but they just didn't stay.
But not
you know what I
not
mean?
to the degree that Borderlands will, because of the complete absurdity of the game. Like
Yeah.
it has the comedy aspect, it has the, you know, the fantasy, complete nonsensory. Like it has the pull that something like Destiny doesn't from other communities.
I'm not like a huge Borderlands fan. Like I know some people sink thousands of hours
Right.
into it. I never did that,
Not
but
either.
I will say, of all the looter shooters I've played, it's the only one I've ever played that has had a story that made any sense at all.
Which seems weird because that game is
Yeah.
fucking out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean that's
But it made sense. It made sense. Like there's a bad guy, and like
they
you're
hit the
aware of his
conventional story.
motivations, and there's like a backstory. I'm not trying to give anything away because people are gonna play like the remasters and whatnot, but like you actually get invested in these characters a little bit, even though like it seems ridiculous to say that. Where Destiny, you're like, yeah, whatever. Let me just get to the end of this mission.
True.
Well, they have more to share on April 3rd.
Okay.
I feel like it's gonna be the
So,
release.
and they did say that the remasters are coming sometime. Like, did they say what day it's going to be in April?
The third, as far as their announcement of whatever they're doing.
Let
They
me
said to
see
check
if
back
there's
April
a-
3rd, which I feel
Yeah,
like they're
they-
gonna
well,
launch that sucker. If they've showed as much as they did, talked about it, how much they have going on, there's no way this hasn't been in development for a long time.
That's what I'm curious about. Is like,
cool,
we're in an age where now they hold a game for years and they don't say anything about it, and then like it's almost like Apple kind of started that trend when they were like, oh yeah, by the way, it's launching in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I could say that, but I mean, even like musicians just like all of a sudden drop an album no one knew they were working on. Like, we're in a day and age where people can work on stuff so quietly and so quickly that they can just drop shit.
They
just
didn't
because
really
they want
though.
to.
Like, people have been talking about this game for years.
Well, yeah, I mean, Borderlands hasn't been quiet. No,
they've been trying to stay quiet because they want to avoid like 2 years ahead of time being like, yeah, we're working on this game, and then people building up like unrealistic expectations of what they're doing.
So that begs the question, like Eddie was saying, is it coming out this month, do you think?
The game? To Borderlands?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think they're dropping it in April?
No. No, I think the whole reason they're doing the remasters is to hold people off until the game is done.
By the end of the year, you think?
I think probably 2019, yeah. I don't know what like month or anything like that. Maybe November or something.
I would say October or November would make sense.
Yeah. I would be shocked if they were like, hey, the remasters are live and the new game. Like, because I don't think people would buy the remasters if they did that.
But at the same time, right? Like, Apex Legends, they were so fucking smart and just
free to play though.
Well, yeah, free to play, sure, but just dropping it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they just did that, how fucking nuts people would go, right?
Yeah, I think we would be looking at Apex Legends a whole different way if they had been like, hey guys, in 1 year we're gonna have a battle royale game.
Right.
Everyone would have been like, fuck off, we don't need that, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Vince and Respawn had said the reason why they didn't do that was because they didn't want Epic to just flat out copy their ideas, but by the time that the game would launch, they wanted them to scramble a little bit. They figured
it was
that
cheaper just
the
to
stuff
drop
that
it
the pinging system and the respawn system would be copied so quickly in BRs that they had to get they had to hit the ground running.
What
Makes sense.
Different stuff are they really doing in BRs though? It's not like this is a groundbreaking BR where everything's different.
He made a good point about the ping system though. That's a new idea.
That's the weird place that BRs are in. Most of the people who play BRs are they feel like, and I know even Recked has said this, they feel like the market's oversaturated. But when you look at the actual competitive nature of what different BRs are doing, there's not much they're doing outside of what they did 10 years ago with PUBG. Firestorm just recently came out.
10 years ago?
About that.
I don't know.
Well, not 10 years ago. Like H1Z. When did H1Z1 come out? It's like 2007, right?
Oh, I don't know. I know PUBG didn't come out 10 years ago. Though. I think it was like 2015 or something.
Sure,
maybe 2010, 2012. Either way, battle royales have been around for a while, and Firestorm. I know we're going to talk about it, but I think we're going to talk about it, right?
It's Firestorm.
No. So it's Battlefield 5's BR, and they just launched that on the 18th, and I mean, if you own Battlefield 5, you own it.
I just looked up H1Z1. Came out in 2018.
No, that's
that'd be
the
for
new
PS4 probably.
No, that Z1 is the new Battle Royale. They remastered it.
So what do I need to look up to figure this out then?
I don't know. I feel like H1Z1 just came to PS4 recently, like last year. But I know H1Z1's been out for quite some time.
I think it's King of the Kill is what it used to be called.
I think that was a mode within it. I don't know if that was what it was called though.
Yeah, it was. It was a mode. But it says
it was in early access for God knows how long. So
yeah, and that's the thing. These
Oh.
games stay in early access so they can get around the update system with the PS4 and Xbox. That's the reason why Fortnite stayed in early access for so long, because
still in early access.
They have to test their patches if they're a full release game. But if they're in early access, they don't have to do that.
Yeah, I don't know when the early access for H1Z1 came out. I can't seem to find that anywhere.
H1Z1
Either way,
been around
The
the
earliest
Battle
I'm
Royale
seeing is
genre has been around
2014,
for-
though. 2014.
Bound for at least 3 or 4 years, and there's not that many battle royales that have broken the mold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Michael says PUBG's got a 2023 release date.
Yeah,
That seems really soon, Michael.
what's-
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That seems a little soon.
Well, I remember Fortnite won Game of the Year twice in a row one year. Like it ran in 2017 and 2016, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the game wasn't even released, and technically the game wasn't released until 2017 or 2018.
Which game?
Fortnite.
Isn't that still in early access or no?
No, it was released July 25th, 2017.
Okay.
So last year, it won Game of the Year, and I know for sure it won Game of the Year in 2016 as well by the Game Awards. The point I'm making is that the battle royale genre has been around for a while, and like Battlefield 5 is a perfect example of it. It doesn't do anything like out of this world crazy that makes you really like you feel oversaturated, but at the same time there's like the choice that you have is pretty similar. Yeah. And you don't have things that really step outside of the box. And I think that's why another reason why Apex really took it out, because it's a lot faster, even if it took a lot of the concepts and refined them.
Oh yeah, that's right. So Save the World released in 2017. That's confusing. I don't know. I don't even want to get into
Anyways,
this.
fuck BRs. Let's go on to the next thing. That's Halo Master Chief Collection is a thing.
Yeah. So
about the Borderlands 3 trailer.
Oh yeah.
Ben Kuchera from Polygon did not like it, and the reason why I brought up BR is because he specifically mentioned that he wanted, like he said that the art style looks pretty samey, like Recked was saying, and that he's like, well, did I buy this game before?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a major
There's not
improvement.
enough to really like. I agree with his assessment about the visuals, but there's not enough to say about the gameplay because we didn't see any gameplay.
Yeah, we didn't see shit really.
He's drawing a lot of conclusions, saying it's the same game. It's like all we saw was like some people walking around. You know, we didn't see any gameplay at all. We just saw like cinematic things.
A little bit of characters here, a little bit.
He said comment, and the reason why I brought up Battle Royale is because he said comments on our post about yesterday's teaser mostly focused on the fear that the new game would include a Battle Royale mode. But after this lackluster trailer, I'd welcome news about a Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, what a cynical
he's
shit
asking
bag,
for
dude.
a Battle Royale mode. Not every game has to have a Battle Royale game, guys, and I think that I don't know that it's just like he doesn't seem, I'm reading this and he doesn't seem to want to understand that like Borderlands is Borderlands and there's nothing that's gonna change about the art style. It's a new story, it's a new co-op, that they've got a lot more weapons, you know.
But I do hope that there's new like features like that have been evolved upon in the gameplay itself, you know. Not just like again, I don't want it to feel like a Borderlands 2 expansion, you know. That's not how I want it to feel. But like I'm hoping like the jumping mechanics and like some of the invisible walls and stuff like that are not as crude.
They didn't fix the cell shading, Recked. What do you expect, dude? Come on. God.
Yeah, that's a complaint actually that he has in this article. Is like he's like, it's cell shaded. It should look different.
It's fucking cell shaded, dude. It's gonna look like cell shading. Fuck off. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Now they didn't announce whether or not it would be coming to the Steam store though.
Yeah, so
I mean, I don't know. Like everyone was expecting that announcement, we didn't get it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like I've heard a lot of people saying they think that there is evidence that this is going to be an Epic Store exclusive.
I mean, it would be smart on their part. I mean, because,
on Epic's part.
Well, yeah, like I don't know. It's one of those things where it is what it is.
It's one of those things where I don't care that much. I do hate having to launch from so many different places, but it will piss a lot of people off. That's certain.
It's another fucking launcher. I don't understand the big problem about another launcher. Like, yes, it's annoying, it's inconvenient, but so you're gonna play the game anyways.
Steam has held that crown for so long, but as a result, Steam has also spent a lot of money in their community features, where Epic isn't even doing. Like one of the things that you can do with the Steam store that you can't do with Epic, just as a good example, is you can look up a game and any review that would review the game to tell you whether or not people liked it or whether or not, the industry liked it. You have all that information there in the Steam launcher, and you don't have to go search the game outside of it.
Right,
with
but
the Epic store.
The Epic launcher's still technically new and growing and developing, right?
Right, exactly.
So why not give them a chance to grow and be developed instead of having this monopoly that is Steam? It makes sense.
The major problem people are having with it is that Epic seems to contradict itself with how it's practice, its words in practice, and then what it actually says it aims to do. It aims to have more competition, but then it reduces competition by buying out exclusivity for 1 year. They just view competition differently, I guess. But
so next thing, Halo Master Chief Collection. We knew that it was going to be releasing title by title, but we did get confirmation from one of the devs in an interview this week where he said that all of the titles would definitely be out by the end of the year. And he said Reach will be out sooner than we expect, and that there will not be a big gap in time between Reach and Combat Evolved. So the timeline for this is looking like it's going to be pretty soon. I'm wondering how they're going to time it with the Borderlands remasters. It's going to be a weird nostalgic time on Twitch where people are just playing Borderlands 2 and Halo from back in the day. So I'm kind of excited for that. Yeah.
Maybe Destiny, Destiny 1.
Yeah, Destiny. That's what they've been
on
working
PC,
on, guys.
On PC.
Is a Destiny 1 remaster coming to Steam.
4K
store exclusive.
Oh my god. So that's exciting, but I don't have much more to say about Halo other than that. But CD Projekt Red, our Lord and Savior,
they are a company,
said that this is going to be the most important E3 of all time. And that, they don't usually overhype things. They're usually serious about what they say. So
which is weird because Sony dropping out last year saying that E3 is not important. EA just recently, I think last week or the week before, they dropped out.
But they're basically saying we're going to make this important because number one, I think we're going to get a release date. I think we're going to get a release date for Cyberpunk finally. I really hope to God it's coming out this year. And then we got confirmation that they're working on a secret new game. I don't know if it's a new IP or just a new Witcher game or what, but most of their team has shifted now from Cyberpunk to this other secret project.
And
it's probably Witcher,
obviously.
Yeah. So we'll get to hopefully hear something about what that is too. So I'm really excited for E3.
Think about the kind of game that Cyberpunk is, and then you say, well, if we applied this world towards a Skyrim type game, which is The Witcher, right? We could get, I don't know. I think that we could get probably a bigger world. I remember watching Unreal Engine. What is it? Unreal Engine 4. On pre-reveal, or is it Unreal Engine 5? Remember the escape where you saw that it looked like or was that the Bethesda trailer for the new Skyrim?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a Bethesda trailer for the new Skyrim, but way back in the day, Epic, when they revealed their trailer for the Unreal Engine that we have now, that would become the one that we have now, which I think is Unreal Engine 4. They had a huge mountainscape where we saw miles and miles and miles, and everyone immediately thought Skyrim. And then the new Skyrim comes out, and it says that, well, it's pretty much it is that. So if that's the new IP that they're working on, then the size and scope of Cyberpunk and all the new features that they're adding in there being applied towards a Witcher game is very, very, very exciting.
Yeah, Cyberpunk is supposed to be 4 times as big as The Witcher, which is insane in my opinion. But I think a lot of that is verticality. Like it's not necessarily that it's like a bigger map. It's that you can go inside buildings that are like skyscrapers and actually be on the floors and stuff like that, and then come out the windows, and it's kind of nutty.
It's a theory that everything is explorable, and we've heard that a million times before by developers, but then it turns out it's not.
It has some credence for these guys. I've never seen them like say something that like isn't accurate. You know what I mean?
I guess Skyrim had they said the same thing in Skyrim. And
but Bethesda are a bunch of like slimy assholes at this point, to be honest with you.
Well, Fallout. Yeah. They had the issue with Fallout 76.
Yeah, and all of the lies. I mean, not just like how bad the game was, but before the game came out, there was what's his name, the CEO over there, going like, the pixel quality is gonna be 20 times as sharp of an image, and blah 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 blah.
Shit, dude.
16 times. Oh, he's like 16 times the graphical detail, and it's like the exact same graphics as Fallout 4.
Did you see that they there was a beta leak for their mobile game, and it has $20 loot boxes in it?
No, but that's not surprising. So Michael has read all of the Witcher books, and he's saying he doesn't really know how they could expand on the current Witcher story from Witcher 3, but maybe it'll be something like a prequel where it's like an MMO where you're like a bunch of Witchers out in the world type thing.
Oh, will it be a looter shooter, you think?
With
well,
a
maybe the one to finally
guns.
solve the can looter shooters be done?
No, but it would be cool if there was an actual like like an MMO style. Like we haven't had like a good MMO in a while. Like people aren't even trying anymore. They're just like, let WoW be the only MMO that exists in Final Fantasy 14.
Imperfection says everything explorable finds Death Wall fully explored, and Lev Frank says the issue with 76 is where do we start?
Yeah.
There's issues.
So the last thing on the CDPR, as we know, CD Projekt Red was the biggest indie developer in the world until Bungie and Activision split, making Bungie the biggest indie developer in the world. And now CDPR is expanding by 250 to 300 developers. That's huge. That's huge.
So how many employees? I think Bungie has 600, right?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. And I didn't say employees. I said developers. You know, like this isn't people running coffee.
On the game, yeah. We're not talking about marketing. We're not talking about any like people actually working on games.
Yeah, that's insane, man. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
I would expect some big shit from
what I understand too. CD Projekt Red kind of runs their ship like a factory, you know, like
holy crap. As of 2000 and I don't know when this was, but it says as of 2016 Bungie has around 750 employees.
Yeah, well,
that's employees, it's not even developers.
Yeah.
A CD Projekt Red,
yeah, they
have around 800 right now.
So they're already bigger. I guess like the expansion has probably already started then.
Yeah.
Well, are they? I guess they are independent though, right?
Yeah, they've been. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have
no
been.
Publisher, self-published. So.
Well, do you like? So, do you think it's going to be an MMO, or do you?
I have no idea. There's literally zero details. It would just be speculation for me to say. But
what would you want to see?
Well, I wouldn't be averse to another Witcher. You know, an MMO would be cool. I pretty much I'm excited for anything they're gonna put out though. Like they've never put out a bad product. You know, but it would be interesting if it's a new IP. It'd be like, man, you're dropping Cyberpunk and starting another new IP. Like that is bold.
What genre would you like to see them shake up though? Because if they've done The Witcher before,
but now Cyberpunk is a first-person shooter. It's a story-driven game. It's an open-world game.
I think they said they weren't going to be as heavy on the shooting.
Oh no! Did you watch the 45-minute gameplay? It's a first-person shooter.
Oh, is it? Fuck. All right. I'm okay.
Yeah, it is a first-person
It's a
shooter.
first-person shooter, character-based, choice-based, narrative-based, open-world game with driving mechanics and
what the fuck?
Yeah. So it's like a first-person Grand Theft Auto if Grand Theft Auto was fully explorable and
with like a Game of Thrones style story.
All right. I'm fully erect now.
Like give it Game of the Year already. Like if it's coming out this year, just slap it on like Game of the Year edition upon launch.
Launch with Game of the Year edition. Be like CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 Game of the Year edition. I thought the slimiest thing before Fallout 76 that Bethesda had ever done is they had what game was it that they had? It wasn't Skyrim, it was the one after it. That they had maybe it was the one before it, but they put a Game of the Year edition on it and it never won Game of the Year. Or was that a different company? Am I thinking of a different company?
I have no clue.
I don't remember that actually, so I don't know.
So, Frankie, are you saying that you want it to be a multiplayer game? Because you said WoW is literally killing itself because there's no other MMO ticking boxes. WoW's competition,
there's
I feel
Final
like...
Fantasy, that's it. Final Fantasy 14.
Well, WoW's competition, I feel like, because WoW doesn't have competition, it's not thriving because WoW steals a lot of the competition's ideas and it implements them into WoW, which makes that people who play that genre, myself included, very happy to continue to play WoW as what, with the sunk cost.
I think what a lot of
fallacy.
people want though with an MMO is somebody to shake up the combat mechanics,
But he says if a game's gonna have a high-end multiplayer, there would be ones they would be the only ones that you'd have faith rewriting the foundations of what MMO stands for. Or you're saying WoW or...
Well, so WoW, I think here's an issue with WoW. Like WoW is intriguing because of how much content is in the game. It sounds really cool to jump into something like that. At the same time, the big problem, I think, is the dated combat mechanics of just managing cooldown orders. You're just like, I gotta do this spell and then 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 this spell, and then like people don't really want to do that. So if we could get an actual action-oriented MMO, I think it could shake up the...
do an MMO stuff.
Yeah, I think it could
CD
shake
Projekt
up
Red. He has
genre.
CD Projekt Red was the company he was talking about. So that's one he has faith that if they were to completely So let me pose this question then.
Yeah.
And I agree with Imperfection that he says that Game of the Year hasn't been an earned title in many years. It's a marketing term. But let me pose this question about CD.
I disagree with that though. God of War and The Witcher 3, I think definitely earned Game of the Year.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, like he said, I think what he's saying is like when they say a Game of the Year edition, it's not because it won Game of the Year, because one outlet
just
gave
an
it
excuse to resell it. That's what you're saying.
An excuse to put all this shit into it.
So let me pose this question about CD Projekt Red's next title.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, no matter what genre, what would be one genre that you would absolutely be sure that if they were to take on that genre, they would destroy it, and then maybe one genre that you'd be worried about them tackling? To say if there's anything that you actually would...
The latter isn't easy. Just stay out of BRs. Like, that's not going to happen.
I wasn't even thinking that, but yeah.
But it's not going to happen.
It's mostly because I don't want them to do a BR. Right.
But...
don't follow that, the trend of every game has to have a BR.
Honestly, though, I think that they could really broach into almost anything and be, like, successful at it. It's kind of crazy, So, I don't know. Let's move on though. I have a conspiracy theory I want to put out there.
Oh shit.
Okay.
So I was in Maple's chat last night and I was floating this around, and Godin thinks I'm crazy, but there's some more evidence that came to light today. So we talked about last week, right? How Josh Hamrick was leaving. Did we talk about that, or
we did not?
Oh, we didn't.
It was announced shortly after.
It happened after. All right. So Josh Hamrick has left Bungie officially this week. He announced it like a couple days ago last week.
Monday, I believe.
Yeah.
Sunday is when I saw it.
Sunday, yeah. So Sunday he announced
Sunday.
that next week I'll be leaving Bungie. You know, I want to celebrate all the good times and people and blah, 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 blah. So it started leading to this speculation like, is he getting pushed out, or is the game just moving in a direction he doesn't like, or is it like his personal life stuff that's like just forcing him to leave the company at this time? I don't know. But also, he has left the company before, so there was some talk about that, saying, you know, he left to work on Fallout 76 back in 2015 till 2016.
He might be just leaving to work on another game.
So, yeah, that it really left the questions, like, kind of open, you know, like, we don't really know why he's leaving. He's one guy. I don't want to, like, draw too much from it, but then started noticing some other things. These guys, John Wisniewski, Lars Bakken, Derek Carroll, all took PvP out of their sandbox designer titles on Twitter. Mm-hmm. The word PvP has been omitted. And then, just today, John Wisniewski announced he's leaving. Just this morning.
So what is your conspiracy?
Yeah, he said it's his last day at Bungie. So I'm starting to wonder, guys. Here's my conspiracy theory. What if there's no PvP in the next Destiny title they're working on?
So as you wrote this down, and I'll just like, I didn't know that John Wisniewski had that, and I knew that John.
I didn't know that when I wrote it down because it just happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So like just within what you wrote down in context, the first thing out of my mind was I was like I'm gonna float this conspiracy theory, and it might be a joke, but what if there's no PvP in the next Destiny?
Yeah.
My thought is, if there isn't PvP in the next Destiny, we're gonna have PvEvP, like where everyone is versus everything and everyone. If
it's possible. It's possible.
Because they're leaning really hard into the Dark Guardians, you know, everything being super gray. Like with a lot of the story stuff they've been doing, like they're leaning really, really hard into us versus each other. And that there's bad Guardians out there, there's good Guardians out there. So it's very possible.
Yeah, the dark and light, the rumors we've heard about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to put this like out there in context of like evidence. So we have no idea what the next title is or what they're working on specifically, but this timing seems conspicuous to me. Let's think from September till now, there has been basically zero PvP support for the game. Yeah. We've been talking constantly about how we keep seeing names we've never heard of, like Victor Anderson working on these sandbox changes. I don't know if that's like because a new PvP team is being constructed, or if, you know, I mean, that's another possibility. If there's a new PvP team being constructed, they don't necessarily have time to work on Destiny 2's PvP. Maybe they're working from the ground up. So that's totally possible. But with that in mind, if they are scrapping it, I kind of have this question. What the heck have John and Josh and all them been doing all this time? You know, like if they've just been
training the new team. Maybe they've been getting people up to speed.
Maybe
like the most likely scenario, right, is that they're training a new team so they can transition to go do whatever the fuck else they want to do. They don't want to be stuck in this position, you know, the rest of their lives.
Training
right?
on the team must go like this. Hi, I'm John Wisniewski, and I'm here to show you our antiquated old engine that we're going to be working on for the next 5 years.
Right, but what if new eyes and new hands on the PvP side of Destiny could actually revamp it and make it a little bit better?
I do agree. I think that would be great. I'm just skeptical whether that's actually happening.
And we don't know shit until we know shit. You know what I mean? Like,
right, but just when we know, what we do know is they've framed this. The rumors have been framing this new Destiny title, whatever you want to call it, as a hardcore RPG. And I'm all for that. I'm excited for that. But what if that doesn't include PvP? What if PvP gets left out of this because they say, you know, it's been a massive failure trying to balance these two things? I've always said, like before, like the PvP sandbox should just be separate, and then they wouldn't have this problem. But I don't know what if their philosophy has changed on that at all, but they were very stubborn before about we need these two sandboxes to feel the same. We can't have them feeling different for whatever reason.
Like I said, if they do end up doing that, they're going to have a dark zone type area like they do in Division 2, in the Division, where we're going to have Guardians versus each other versus, enemies. We're gonna have some sort of PvP situation, and if that happens, that's what it's gonna be. It has to be.
Well, Frankie asked, what if they're removing PvP from Destiny 2 in order to make a Destiny PvP game that's standalone?
I don't think they're gonna remove it from Destiny 2, because that would take effort to just take something out of the game that people like. I don't think they're gonna.
Not
do
from
that.
Destiny 2, but I mean the next Destiny. The next Destiny not having PvP because the next Destiny will be a solo experience.
I don't think that this
experience with.
I don't think
PvP
that this
separated.
studio can handle two different
Projects like that?
Projects like that.
If they were still with Activision, I could see that being more likely. But since they're not, it seems like it'd be too much to take on. I agree.
Well, Activision was just money, but I do know that they had
they were resources as well. They had other studios.
The other studios that they provided.
The other studios working on other
Vicarious
projects,
Visions.
which they might, we know they still have until the end of the year. So we know that this project that's coming in September, whatever it is, that's gonna be a joint Activision venture.
No, so, I'm pretty sure the last Activision venture is the age of, or the whatever this next season is. That was the last thing. So yeah, Season Opulence. That's the last Activision Bungie collaboration. There will be nothing more.
Okay.
And just to summarize, also, Trials we've heard nothing about other than it's not coming back. So.
Right.
And then there's been almost no sandbox changes, no Crucible maps. It really feels like they're dropping support for this. That's why all of these things together just is making me maybe a little paranoid about this, but I think it's a strong possibility.
I see. Yeah, I would have to agree that it seems like it could happen. Because now that they aren't with Activision, they're moving focus solely on the next thing that's coming, which makes sense, and I respect that. But it is shitty to let parts of the game that is still living go.
Yeah.
What did they say about Faction Rally? Did they?
They said shit, dude.
Nothing.
So we don't have anything on that either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also wanted to point out. You remember they said months ago, back in December, hey, maybe towards the end of January or a patch after that, we might make high impact snipers be able to snipe people in the head or snipe supers in the head and shut them down. What happened to that? Now we're hearing about this new patch, and it's there's not even any PvP changes in it. I mean, there's some quality of life stuff we're going to get into after this, but it seems
fucking pissed.
What the heck? They said this already, and it's just disappeared,
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of annoying to me.
People are starting to disappear. So yeah, I think a lot of things have either taken the back seat or they're working on reworking something.
So a lot of the pushback from this conspiracy was hey, a lot of the game is PvP players and they're going to be mad, and that's true. But let me put this out there. I'm just playing devil's advocate. You guys know I love PvP. I don't want to see it go away. But anyway, so
I don't think I think the rumors have weight now.
Yeah, but so listen to this. If you're Bungie and money is your concern, I'm not saying it is, but if money is your concern, and you're looking at the PvP population, sure, they play the game a lot, but do they buy the content?
No.
There's no reason to, right? If you play solely PvP, there's no reason to purchase the content other than if you're private game sweats, but with the annual pass, there's been 0 maps, so you don't even have to worry about that. So it's how many of these people are actually buying all the content? I bet you it's not as much as we think.
I would say very little. If anything. I think the only reason they would buy the new content is to get the new pinnacle weapons, which I'm not sure if they need to.
I'm not.
I buy the content, so I don't know. I mean, I don't.
I'm not sure that an expansion pass is coming next year. I'm not sure that
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't bank on it.
Yeah, it was an
So,
Activision
like,
thing.
Yeah.
So
September is their release window for Destiny.
which I don't
But
even know that's up in the air now.
Exactly. So like they could release Destiny 3 whenever they want, and so they could say March next year.
Yeah.
You know, that would throw a huge wrench into the works with Destiny 2, but at the same time,
I don't see
like
them
Frank's
doing
saying that he feels like as a person who's taken a step away from the game week after week after week and listening to this podcast, it like there's a trend that's emerging that they're just overall just reducing their support for Destiny 2 as a game.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
like all of their support has been reduced.
Yep. And we've heard nothing about what they're working on.
I would say if anything, we're gonna get some sort of Rise of Iron holdover expansion in September, or nothing. It's gonna be one of the two. I feel
Something in September. I feel like something's happening, but I do think something's happening, but I don't know if we're gonna have a season pass.
no. Like I said, it's probably gonna be like a Rise of Iron style holdover
And
expansion.
Bungie could release early, like Destiny 3 or whatever they're working on next, sooner than September. I think they want to release it
really
sooner.
hasty if they did it sooner, unless they're fully fucking
In
done.
September 2019, or you mean 2020?
2020.
Yeah, that's what I. That's
2020.
what
Yeah,
I
they're
figured.
not
makes
releasing
sense.
it this
Okay,
year.
yeah, this
like
year
they
would be
might
insane.
release it in May or June of next year.
Yeah, I hope it's not a whole year of nothing or more.
And that's a way to kill your game. Honestly, that's a way to kill anything for Destiny 3. That's a way to murder your game. So
So you got to think about it like release windows, right? So if something's happening in September, we'll hear about it in June.
Yeah,
But they'll
or GuardianCon. I think there was word for them to possibly make an appearance actually at GuardianCon this year.
Did they say they were going to GuardianCon?
went
They
last
haven't
year.
announced anything really for GuardianCon.
Yeah, that is
yet.
true because they announced late last year that they were going, and like it was like 3 weeks before they were like, "Hope you bought your tickets, haha, lol."
Yeah,
We're gonna be there.
And then I was like, "Oh, guess I'm not playing Gambit. Cool.
Yeah.
Guess I'll just stand in line. It'd be great."
I feel it's possible that they'll have some sort of appearance there, especially with
Buy the VIP tickets this year.
already did.
Yep, same. All right, moving on. The TWAB. This is a lot of quality of life stuff. First, have you guys played Iron Banner at all?
Yeah.
No.
You have, Eddie? Okay, what do you think? Let's hear your thoughts on it.
Fucking Iron Banner, dude. It's laggy, unless you're high
The
level.
new mechanics, though. The new mechanics.
So
New mechanics?
So Eddie, sell me on Iron Banner.
you didn't try. You didn't try the burden or anything.
Oh
like
no,
that?
that shit sucks.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Like, okay, so if you have the Wolf's Favor, yeah, everything's fine and dandy. You're murking people, no problem. If you're under level, fuck that shit, dude. Because everybody's one tapping. You have to play so passive. Like
I
you're
know.
playing comp with 6 people. It's stupid. Like
I watched Godin playing with the burden on, and I was like,
I don't know what
dude,
he
it
was
looks
doing.
like he's getting destroyed.
For a
Like,
fucking fusion rifle, dude.
Yeah.
All of that for a fusion rifle. Are you kidding me?
So,
What is
doesn't
the
he have to
point?
get-
I said last week, I was
Doesn't he
all
have to
for
get a lot
this
of
Iron
kills with that?
Burden,
Yeah.
but I am not for the Iron Favor, because the Iron Favor just makes the Iron Burden impossible to manage.
What's the point? Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. Like everyone's either going to be super low, it's 700, or they're going to be 600, and there's
Right.
kind of no middle ground. And if you're in the middle ground, well, you're fucked anyways. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was annoying. I mean, I finished the bounties. But then again, I got no life. So, but no, I mean, it was Iron Banner, dude. Like. It's Iron Banner. You've got weird connections. You got weird matchmaking. You've got people dropping out left and right because they're getting salty. Like it's Iron Banner. There's nothing.
Speaking of that fusion rifle you're talking about, I wanted to point this out. There's this tweet I put in here from Damage. This makes me makes my head spin, because I'm just going to read this out loud for our audio listeners, and I'll put it in chat for everybody else. It says, Wyzen rebuke fusion rifle with random rolls. current POR is to add this to the loot pool later this season. Players will have to earn the curated role for it to drop with random rolls. This is in development, could be delayed, will not be included with update 2.2.1 in early April. This is such a small goddamn change. Why are you telling us about it and then saying it might not even be here for months? You're making one gun a random roll and you're like, yeah, it's not going to be here in time for the next Iron Banner. I don't even give a shit about this gun.
Why are they telling us? Like that,
right,
that's
like
what
this,
I don't...
this just seems like bizarre for them to be like, oh yeah, there's one gun, we're adding random rolls to it, and but you guys slow your roll because this is going to take time. This is a big undertaking for us, you know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand what the point of that tweet was. It seemed just asinine. Just let me get my fucking 1K. I don't care. Like, just fix that.
Reading this, I'm thinking that, you know, I get the impression that they need to hire an actual PR team for the game, like, and not just have somebody
Dylan
who's been a community manager forever.
It's not his fault. They told him that this is how it's going to be. It's
I know, but like, or they need to hire a production manager that actually can keep people on task.
If this project of like making this one gun random rolls cannot be handled by a single developer, there is a fundamental problem. You know, like, this should not be a huge undertaking for a whole team.
I feel like they shouldn't even mentioned it. There should have been no fucking reason for saying it.
Yeah.
I don't know who's fucking all up in arms. I want my random roll, you know, whatever
Wise
fucking
Rebuke.
Fusion. Like,
man, the Wise and Rebuke not having random rolls and curated roll. I can't wait for that.
It's not like it's part of a triumph. It's not. What the fuck? Who cares, dude?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
All right. So quality of life stuff. The good news is the Dreaming City and Last Wish cosmetics are going to be increased by 2 or 3 times as much of a chance of dropping, or more in some instances, they say. They didn't really define where your best chances to get them are and stuff like that, but I'm happy about that because I have literally not gotten a single Dreaming City cosmetic, and I have done a lot of bounties there.
So I stopped doing bounties. The only thing I'm missing is the ghost shell, I think, and then I'll have the title. Like, I'm all done with everything except for the ghost shell. So I stopped doing the bounties there because I never got the ghost shell no matter what I did.
All right, next thing though, the 1K voices, and I feel like me and Eddie are going to be on the same page about this. They're buffing the drop chances, but this is their exact wording. This exotic will continue to be rare among players, but we've tuned the drop weights to give slightly better chances than what's currently available.
The fuck does that even mean, dude? What the fuck does that even mean? I'm mad.
I've literally done this raid 30 times.
70,
oh,
dude.
So I see why
70.
You didn't include me,
I haven't gotten this goddamn...
You guys don't have it.
Right. Don't have it. And you know what? It's not that I want it to be not rare, but I've said this a million times since September now. Give it bad luck protection. You've done it before.
Please.
You've literally put it in the game before. Just say if you have X amount of raid completions.
Extremely rare
Ikelos shotguns. The Ikelos shotgun and stuff like that too.
The ghost shell. Same deal.
Yeah.
The ghost shell, the week that they got, like, I got it the first week, and I was like, wow, that is drop rate.
There's somebody at Bungie watching my streams every week, laughing, pissing themselves, how excited they are that I'm not getting 1K again. I guarantee it. That's where
there's somebody who's at Bungie who's excited that you're not getting it.
Dude, they're getting fucking hard off of it. I swear to God, I'm so sick of me not getting 1K, dude. Oh.
Yeah, so that's... I don't know like what slightly means. I hope I can get a 1K at some point because it's the only Forsaken exotic I don't have. It's
the only thing holding me back from Ravensbane, and it's driving me fucking nuts, dude. I feel like Moby Dick. I've lost my mind, dude. I call me Ishmael. I'm insane.
It's just like, you know, I might actually like be invested in some of the things in this game if I could grind towards my titles, but I just feel like there's zero chance of me doing it just because everything is like heavily RNG based, and I'm not gonna like put a lot of time and effort into that, you know?
Yeah.
Did you
So-
see that they also said that there are still issues people having with guitar in the raid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's like, oh, they fixed it. I'm like, yeah, okay. Bungie fixed it. And I got 1K.
No, I
They
think,
said we fixed it, and then they said there are people who are still encountering.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've raided recently. Like, oh, yeah, I know they fixed it. I'm like, okay, well, we're still wiping. I don't care what you say. It's not happening.
Isn't it though? The people are getting that guitar error more in Scourge of the Past now than they are in Last Wish.
I don't know.
They did say people were still getting in Last Wish, so
Yeah, people
Okay.
are still complaining about Last Wish.
Well,
I don't think we would get it though, Recked, because we're. I don't
mean,
know. Like I feel like the guitar errors are
hardware
targeted.
issues or something.
As far as Petra's run goes,
I
I've
think
actually found.
I think it's hardware.
I
Yeah.
found ways around it. We finished our Petra's run without a single guitar. What you do is from the big ogre to the final encounter, you pick up and unload every bit of ammo you can find as much as possible. So you make sure there's no ammo on the ground, and that creates less problems for it.
For the
doing this.
memory.
Yeah. And we had no problems. It fixed it.
Interesting.
Just make sure there's no ammo on the ground. Just unload your weapons and call it good.
Okay, so they gave like a little security disposition at the end here and talked about how, you know, they're going to ban people using aimbots, and that they don't want to be hard on the macros because of accessibility and people with disabilities. But then they go on to mention how Titan skating falls into that same vein, and they were like, oh yeah, that because of people with disabilities, that's why we didn't ban people for using Titan skating. It's not the same fucking thing. Like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Bungie.
No,
Wait, what did they say about Titan
I
skating?
do have I have so my wife is a recreational therapist who works a lot
Right.
with, you know, adaptability and stuff like that. So it makes sense to not ban everyone using some sort of single
Macro.
binding macro because
Yeah.
you know, if you're playing with one hand, what
Titan
the how do
skating
you,
is not the same thing, though. Is that?
well, no, but binding the macro
Okay.
to the Titan skating, it's hard to maybe differentiate, I guess, you know, between the shit.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just saying that I just thought that was a weird like segue to
It
say,
is,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
no, it's odd.
people with
It's just-
disabilities. That's why.
It's kind of funny how the game kind of like how they say that, like aimbots and macros.
Yeah.
Is it an exploit? Is it an exploit?
All right, so this is their exact words, though. They say, it's important to us that people with disabilities be able to use accessibility tools, which sometimes include simple automation. It's one of the reasons why we fixed the Titan skating macro in-game instead of simply punishing people for using automation tools. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The people Titan skating, that's not an automation tool. Like, that is bullshit. That's cheating.
But isn't automation technically
I
against team terms of service?
I feel that they may have maybe said that
I
because
don't know. I
they knew
haven't
they were going
read
to
the
get
term. I
someone
haven't read the
saying
terms of
So
service.
so is it an exploit? Is it an exploit? Let me give you. Let me.
They're saying no.
this-
It's not. They're saying
Okay, so this has happened. This actually happened this past week, and it was something that I've been reading about. I haven't played World of Warcraft in many months, but there is a vendor where you can buy things with tokens that you earn through. I think I actually don't know how they're gained. I think they're soldiers tokens or whatever. So I don't know how to earn the tokens. But there's a potion that you can buy using the tokens that increases the amount of XP that you earn by 20%, and you can transfer it to other characters that you have, meaning that you can level up an alt really quickly. Was 20% faster. If
Yeah.
you have them in a stack, like a stack of 5 or 20 or 100, you can use that and it refreshes the buff. But someone found an exploit where if you take the item and you separate it and you put it in another inventory slot, because you can do that in World of Warcraft, you can actually click each one and each one will be its own independent buff, meaning that you can have a 3,000 or a 5,000 increase in XP. You
Oh
kill
my
one
gosh.
boar and you level up 5 times, something like that. Well, World of
Wow.
Warcraft, because it's an in-game exploit, and it was just kind of like the difference between this game and that game, and I don't know how you would feel about this, but World of Warcraft banned every single player that used that exploit, even though it was in the game and even though they said it was a known issue. They straight up banned them for 30 days, I think. The new raid is coming out next week.
Fuck that.
or
They're paying customers, man. Nah.
2 weeks. I think it's a week or 2 weeks from now. So the people who are banned right now are going to be hindered in their progression for the new raid. because the new raid's coming out in I think 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever. So those players will be banned for 30 days for
That's
doing
not right.
something.
See,
Preach
I
is
think
a
that's-
big
If
game.
third-party tools are one thing, if you're using like a third-party program or application to achieve something that's not natural, like they have the right to ban people. But like, I think that falls into the same category as Glad getting banned from Anthem for using a glitch in the game. It's stupid, you know, and they're only shooting themselves in the foot.
Preach Gaming, he recently moved from Twitch to YouTube to Twitch, so now he's a primary player on Twitch, but he makes videos for YouTube. He said that he probably knew he was going to get banned when he did that because he knew that it was against the terms of service when he did it. And I guess a staff member from World of Warcraft kind of agreed because he's also banned for 30 days, as well as like I think 2,000 other players who did it.
I
Wow.
think the difference
Somebody
between
at Blizzard got banned, you're saying?
No, Preach is a person who makes like video content for World of Warcraft. Like he makes it on Twitch and on YouTube. And he's a big name in content creation for World of Warcraft, and he got banned.
Yeah, I just don't see how that's good for the game.
I don't know if you know how bad of a position Battle for Azeroth is really in right now. It's not in a good spot. It's kind of like, it kind of reminded me of the Fallout 76 thing, and then as well as the Anthem thing with Glad, like, you know, like kind of like a PR mistake. But according to everyone on the forums, like they're having problems. They don't like that it happened, but they like everyone's like, well, you shouldn't have done that kind of deal. Like
Okay.
you knew you were gonna get banned. And even Preach himself said, I'm probably gonna get banned.
Weird.
So I mean, I'm just like kind of trying to just like take the conversation and say, you know, Destiny is like probably, even though they have these weird kind of rules about what automation is and isn't in their eyes, like it could be much worse.
Interesting.
for Destiny.
So the next thing in the security that I just wanted to mention was that they said how they announced they were going to issue warnings and restrictions to people with poor network connections. And here's the part I found weird. We're happy to report that 90% of the players who received a warning have not been detected for a poor connection again. What does that tell you?
people are purposely lag switching,
Manipulating their connection, yeah.
Should have just banned those motherfuckers.
Right. What the hell?
They just know how to not get caught again.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that people will skirt around the rules if they find out exploits in the netcode?
No, that's never happened
This
in Destiny
netcode is
history.
flawless, XO. There's no way that they could exploit this netcode from 2007.
Yeah.
Can't happen.
I thought it was. I trust Josh Amrick.
He's not even there anymore.
Yeah.
You trust him? He's not there. He left us. He left us.
Trust Josh Amrick, everyone. You know, that's who we need to put our trust into.
Yeah.
When he is gone from Bungie, that's when we throw in the towel. Isn't today his last day?
I don't know. He might already be gone.
He might have checked out a while
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. Well, he's in Seattle, so he's still got a couple hours.
Damn. All right.
Let's make sure to boost these puppies.
Yeah, GuardianCast. That's all I really have for this week, though, guys. We don't really need to drag it on unless you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about. No, yeah. I think Eddie's good. He's giving me the nod because the dogs are going nuts. But yeah, so like I don't know. I'm happy that we were able to talk about other games that we're moving in this direction of a general gaming podcast. And
That's good.
Yeah, I think some good topics of conversation. It was about a 50-50 split this week, I'd say. I'm going to try and keep it that way in the future, depending on the week. But
yeah, like what's really interesting about it is like it like we're talking about this, like what if Destiny would never have lost the Steam?
yeah,
What if they never lost the Steam to do that? Like we would be in a much better, I feel, position and much different position with the podcast. And really a lot of our decisions are revolved around
the Destiny community in general,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
because everybody knows when the game first launches, you have everyone from Shroud to Tim the Tapman to, like every streamer played the game when Destiny 2 launched.
Yeah.
And Summit's opinion,
Shroud
like
never
his
played
thing
Destiny
blew
2.
up. I remember we talked about it.
No,
like,
not Shroud. It was
I could just start hearing again. My dog shut up. So
no, it was not Shroud. It was
Summit. Summit had the hot take. Yeah,
Summit was playing Destiny.
But I think all of them were at least in the beta. I mean, I even saw Dr. Disrespect, I think, playing the game when the game came out.
Yeah.
So like Tim and Shroud and everybody was playing it, at least in the beta. I don't know if they actually picked up the game.
That makes sense. But thanks for everybody tuning in this week, guys. Don't forget to let us know what you want to see in the future. You can go into my Discord. Hashtag Think Tank, I believe, is the channel that we're using for this. So if you have any ideas you want to see in the future on this podcast, let us know. Don't forget to check out our website, GuardianCast.net, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Google Play, iTunes Music, Podbean,
Spotify,
all that good stuff. Oh, Spotify too. So we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Yeah.